Hello, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Returnee series. I know you are enjoying this series. So even before we start the video, just give this video a thumbs up, like the video and subscribe in case you're not subscribed. So today we're going to be hosting somebody who has chosen an East African nation again. Guess where? Anyway, without further ado, let me invite our guest. Hello.
Hi!
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to connect with you here, and you can start by introducing yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Tiffany Banner. I was born in Georgia in the United States, but my family is from Jamaica, and I'm 19 years old, and I decided to do my repatriation journey by myself because I am the only one in my family that is African centered. Everything that I know today, I got from my own knowledge, and I'm currently trying to get at least my mom to come over here, but it's definitely a process when you've been just brainwashed of Western culture your whole life. But that's going to be a process, and it'll be her own journey. But yeah, currently I'm in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and I decided to come to Tanzania because their borders are right now the only stable African countries that's open right now, and I plan on settling in the Gambia because there's a much bigger network of repats over there, as well as it's much easier for repats to become citizens. But I'm definitely loving Tanzania right now. I love it so much.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even know that you're just 19. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh wow, that's quite interesting. So is this your first time on the continent?
this is my very first time on the continent.
Wow. When did you get to Tanzania?
So I arrived on Tanzania on August 13th.
Oh wow, wow. And now wow. That's quite interesting. I somebody recommended your channel to me, and I saw some of the videos that you're doing and some of the content you're making, and I'm quite impressed. Tell us, at what point did you ever realize or felt like you needed to move to the continent?
So my story is actually quite fast paced. So I decided to not go to college after I graduated high school last year because the brainwashing was already intense in high school, and I knew that it would become even more intense in college. So I decided to go my own way and do my own thing and start traveling by myself. And so in January, I started traveling 2 days after I turned 19, and I went to Jamaica to discover more about my heritage. And that was the first time I really found out about my ancestors. And that was just basically a life changing experience for me. And it wasn't really until about March that I decided that America is just not only going down the drain, but we're not supposed to be in America in the first place. And I mean, we're supposed to be returning to where we're from and where we've always been. And we've only been in America for a few generations, just very few generations. And now our ancestors in Africa are calling us home. So I decided that I would get home no matter what. With everything, I would make it all my means to get back home. And now I'm here. And, despite being so young and despite having to do the journey by myself, it doesn't really matter because my ancestors are on my side. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. And what do your parents think about it?
So when I first told my mom, she was very uh, baffled. And, they, in America, there's a lot of brainwashing about Africa. You have the whole image of the naked African child that's starving and then the African booty scratcher and all that stuff. And I tried to explain to her, first of all, we're supposed to be returning to where we came from, and second of all, there are many opportunities in Africa, like, well, there's many opportunities in Africa, many business opportunities, and it's a much better way to live. Like, um, for example, cost of living in America is awful. So I remember one day we spent $100 on groceries. It was maybe like this many groceries, and my mom was just complaining and complaining. And I was saying, $100 worth of groceries in Tanzania or the Gambia could get you maybe even a month's worth. So you just have to really, really think about the way you're living your life, because everybody is struggling in America. Everyone is surviving and they're not living. So once I started to explain to her my many reasons, not obviously going back to where we came from, but for, just a better way of life, she's starting to open her eyes more. So, yeah.
Wow. And what about your friends in school? Did you tell them that you're going to relocate?
Right. So, I in high school I was pretty brainwashed, so I barely had any African friends, which was, I feel like a lot of people would take that as a surprise to me. So, yeah, now they're not in my life anymore because I don't really, having non-African friends is not going to better me in any way. But when everybody did find out, they were all like, just, whoa, what's she doing there? Why does she feel like she can do that? And it's, I'm not even doing this to just prove people wrong. I'm just doing this to say, if a 19-year-old can pack up her things and repatriate by herself, then anyone can do it. Take the kids to, if it's just you and your wife or you and your husband, if just you and one child, you need to come. You are capable of anything as long as you invite your ancestors to join you.
Wow. And so now, are you looking forward to maybe going to school? Because since you've said that you after Tanzania, you're probably going to the Gambia. Do you look forward to maybe going to college there? Like, what's your plan?
I honestly don't really look forward to higher education. I'm taking it in my own hands to educate myself, because after high school, I realized that it's not very responsible for me to let anybody else educate me, because when you have outside influences and educating you, then that means that they're they're putting anything that they can in your mind. So whatever that they're telling you might be false, it might be true, who knows. So I'm taking it into my own hands to educate me. And I actually wanted to make a restaurant when I get to the Gambia, because I'm vegan, I'm plant-based, and I, practice holistic health and holistic way of healing. And I feel like the ancestors have really truly given me a gift in that way of living and that way, that lifestyle. So I want to be able to share that gift with other people as well.
Okay, okay. And now, how did you feel when you first landed to Tanzania? Was it what you expected? Keeping in mind that probably, okay, not probably, that was actually your first time on the continent.
So when I first landed to Tanzania, before that, it was a very long journey. So it was kind of a stressful journey. But when I landed in Tanzania, all the stress just completely went away, and I got this just feeling of complete peace. You know, the past couple of months were just pretty rocky for me, but when I landed, it was just a feeling of such peace, and I was just in so much awe. I was in shock, and I remember landing on the plane. Looked out and I saw the sunrise because it was 7 a.m. and then the sun was just red. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful sunset. I mean, excuse me, sunrise. And then that set the mood off for me as well. And I got my visa, and I went through immigration within 5 minutes. And then I just saw all the beautiful African people just living their life like it was just nothing. And that was just something that was just unbeatable for me. I was just in awe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's a video I saw you at the beach. I think you went to the beach, and I think that's where someone alerted me about your video. Tell us about it. What was
Okay.
happening?
So there's this beach called, I think, Kapipo Beach. It's butterfly in English, and it is in Dar es Salaam. And so what actually happened was I went with Witness Our Divine on YouTube, and a couple other people to just go shopping, and that's where I got this scarf from. It's right here. I swear I got this scarf that I'm wearing from. And then there was a beach right across from it. So I just decided to go have a look. Well, I was going to have a look. And then somebody came up to me and they were really upset and they said, there's a European woman holding an African child and kissing her. And I was like, what? I have to see this for myself. So I went, and the beach was just filled with Europeans. And, there were old European men with younger African Tanzanian women. And we all know what that was. And then I look at this table and I see two African children. They're both autistic and they can't speak. And one child was being just held like this in a carried position like a baby. And the European was just like rocking her and kissing her. And then the other child, he, he the European was holding his head like this so he wouldn't move. And it was the most disturbing thing I had ever seen. So I told everyone to come. I said, get your cameras on. We're going to show everybody what's happening on the continent, because I really do not feel like people, our brothers and sisters outside of the continent, know what's going on. So yeah, the video does not have a lot of context, because I was going to make a follow-up video and I still will, but I just I went off because those children were in so much danger. And when we went there, it was actually turned out the autistic girl was crying, and we were saying, why do you have those children? And they were saying, at first they said, well, we picked them off the street, and then they said, well, they're from an orphanage. So, and that's one of the reasons why, orphanages in Africa, not even just Tanzania, are a major threat to our children, because that is a breeding ground for European sex trafficking. So, especially the fact that they chose two children that cannot speak and they're not able to do anything or defend themselves. So we all just made it known that we know exactly why you all are on the continent. We know what intentions you have with our children and what other intentions you might have just on the continent, period. And one thing I'll never forget is one European woman. She had a green tank top on in the video, and she got up. She just stared at me. She looked in my eyes. She got up and she didn't say anything. And then I turned to her and then I said, you got up and you left because you know what you're doing is wrong. And she still didn't say anything. So it just further proves that Europeans know exactly what they're doing. And then, as well as other continental Tanzanians actually were defending them. So I was saying, they're pedophiles, take those children out of their hands. And they were saying, no, they just got them from an orphanage. And we were saying, well, what are they trying to do with the orphanage children? So eventually they were saying, you need to call the police. And we were just responding, if the police truly cared about the children, then this would not have been happening in the first place. And it was just such a horrible situation. And everyone was just asking me why we didn't take the children. But honestly, in the situation that we were in, they would have not let those children out of their hands. They would have done everything they can do to keep those children with them. And what we truly just wanted to make that video to show people what's going on, because I was looking through a bunch of the comments and it appears that a lot of people do not know what is going on when it comes to sex trafficking. And it's not just a Tanzanian thing, it's happening all across the continent.
So actually, yeah, I watched that video, and one of the man was actually saying, they said it in Kiswahili, they said that they should snatch you the camera, like snatch them that camera. Yeah, there's a man that towards the end of that video that turned and was saying like, oh, snatch them that camera. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So did you know that such things were actually happening on the continent before you came?
Yeah, so I was watching a couple YouTube videos about sex trafficking in the Gambia, and I did watch YouTubers speaking out about that. But, hearing about something is much more different than actually experiencing it. So, seeing that up front and in person is just, it affects you much more than just hearing about it. So it wasn't a shock because I knew it would happen. I knew that I would see something like that eventually, but seeing it actually in person is just, it does something to you. Yeah.
All right. So now you are in Tanzania, you're basically on the continent. Do you see yourself ever going back to the US?
I definitely do not see myself going back to the US because, for one, it was definitely a struggle coming to the continent, coming to Tanzania. And they definitely make it very, very hard for you to leave the US. So, if I were to go back, that'd be just completely contradictory in everything that I do say and everything that I believe in. But also, there's nothing to go back to. The country's at war right now, there's wildfires and hurricanes all the time, and the political status right now is just a complete mess. It's always been a mess, but with the elections about to occur in November, it would just I would be putting myself in danger if I went back. So it is not an option.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and now where do you see yourself in about 10 years? About 10 years, you'll be 29, and maybe 11 years in, you'll be 30. Where do you see yourself? What do you want to be doing at 30 years old?
I honestly want to just be building. So I have a lot of different dreams. I have a lot of different visions, and this is just the beginning. But I see myself with a lot of land. I see myself with building hotels specifically, because a lot of the hotels here are owned by Europeans and other races, and they employ continentals at extremely low rates. So I want to own hotels to keep the money circulating throughout Africans, because when you have European and other races hotels, then that money, that the hotel may be on the continent, but the money is just completely going elsewhere. So I see myself with hotels. I see my restaurant just booming, and I want to make a cookbook as well, and I want to write a few books, and I have just a lot of different plans and a lot of things that I don't even know how to say all of them, because I just have so many things that I want to do.
I think a lot of people at this time would be wondering. She's just 19. How does she intend to survive? Did you have to save up money? Are your parents supporting you?
Mhm. Right. So
Like,
I started saving up money last year when I graduated high school, and I'm looking for other ways to make money as of now, and I'm investing in other things as well. So as any opportunities that might come my way, I will also jump on those opportunities, because I see that as, just a gift from the ancestors. But yeah, I definitely did save up money before coming, and I plan on making a lot more money here. And I plan on figuring out a way to work remotely and make US dollars, because we all know how much the US dollar stretches here. So, yeah.
well, I think then that would mean probably trying to look at how you can work online. If
Right.
you're able to work online, offer some solutions online, and yeah, there's lots of opportunities. I'm very sure as you move across the continent, or maybe when you move to Gambia, you'll realize maybe there's something you can supply to maybe our brothers and sisters in the US. You can sell it to them, and then that would also help you in generating revenue. That's you're very inspiring.
Thank
You're very
you.
inspiring. I know, like for a lot of people at 19 years old, I don't know how many people would be thinking about repatriating.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, I'm a completely different person now than I was a year ago, and the growth just continues. But yeah, I definitely want to be able to inspire people, and I feel like ancestors chose me to come so young, because there might be people that are older than me that might be doing it by themselves, and they might feel like they can't do it. But when they see me, they're like, okay, that's a sign. So I definitely want to be able to inspire people, because Africa is going to be booming within these next few years, and nobody wants is going to want to miss out on that. So yeah.
Do you have any regrets so far?
um my I don't have any regrets leaving America, but one regret I might have is not believing in myself and not trusting myself to do this, because honestly right now I'm just working by myself, and I thought that I would be able to, you know, work with roommates, and I thought that I kept telling myself, you need to find other people to live with. You're not going to be able to do this by yourself. And my roommate situation did not work out very well, and my only I guess, regret, I could say, is just not believing in myself and not trusting in myself. But, I take everything as a life lesson and I try to see the positive out of everything. So, there's always a chance and opportunity to grow in everything.
All right, that's awesome. And what's your advice to Africa diaspora, African Americans, or generally Africans across the globe who are afraid to make the move, or those who also want to relocate to the continent?
So my biggest stream advice would probably have to just be trust in the ancestors. If you don't have trust in ancestors and if you don't have trust in yourself, then it's not going to happen. You can have all the money in the world and you can have the biggest network in the world, but if you don't have any trust in your ancestors or in yourself, then it just will not work. I have had all the amount of trust in my ancestors. And at first, things were just going kind of slow for me and things weren't working out. But, everything has divine timing. And now things are just looking better than they ever have been. And that's just because I continue to trust in myself and trust in my ancestors. So that's probably the biggest point of advice I have to have is just trust.
All right. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I'll try and see. I know a number of people repatriated to the Gambia. Maybe they would help you with information. I don't know. Do you have any contacts there?
Do I have any connects? Yeah, I definitely do. And I have some friends over here that currently live 13 minutes away from me. So they repatriated from the same state as me, and they kind of helped me with networking and setting up over here. So they're going to be continuing to the Gambia as well, and
Oh, they're
I'm
also
gonna.
going to the Gambia.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, and they're definitely very, very, very good people, and I will. I told them, I said, wherever you are is where I want to be. So yeah, definitely.
Oh, I'm so glad and looking forward to your journey to the Gambia. Tell us about your YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel, yes. So I do have a few vlogs on there. My name is just Tiffany Banner on YouTube. And I do have a few vlogs on there, and I will continue to do vlogging. But one of the most important things that I've been called to on YouTube, I personally feel, as a just spreading the message of African people and, our divinity, because all across the globe in every single country on the earth, we are, the most disrespected people. And that's because I truly believe that we are God's chosen people. And I just want to be able to spread that message to people because we have been placed under such a deep spell of colonialism and white supremacy. And I want to be able to help people awaken. I want to help awaken people because, you know, everybody is an African deep down, but we were just given other titles. So I want to be able to help reawaken the African that lies within every single African on the planet. So that's what I try to do, and the message I try to spread on my YouTube channel.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. I'll definitely leave a link to your YouTube channel in the pinned comment and maybe in the description so that people can go ahead and support your platform. We would love to see. I mean, this is quite interesting. Even me personally, I'm so much interested to see how your journey is going to be like. And yeah, for those of us who are watching this, kindly go ahead, support her channel. Tiffany, support her channel, subscribe. Let's see. We've had a lot of people repatriating, but we've never seen a 19 years old repatriating on her own. Yeah, so support her sister. All right, Tiffany, it's been a pleasure hosting you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and an honor being able to be featured on your channel. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for watching that amazing episode of The Returnees. Kindly, again, I repeat, please support Tiffany. She's 19 and she's just doing all this amazing work. Her courage, her confidence, definitely something to check out on. So share out this video so as to inspire a lot more brothers and sisters out there. Subscribe and, tap the bell for notifications so that you're always getting notified whenever we are posting. Until next time, kwaheri.
yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzeha sana nenda finira chechemekwe yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzeha sana nenda finira chechemekwe yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzeha sana nenda finira chechemekwe